latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today you guys a bit of a review video on a brand new product from Vango. So with me today I've got the Vango Cove II Low Hold. So the Cove name is something we've seen in kind of Vango's range for a few years now. And what they've kind of done is almost re-established an old model that was kind of in their back catalogue, which was called the Noosa, but essentially introduce it in kind of that new Cove scheme. So we've got this beautiful new kind of experience, active fabric, looks really sharp, 3000mm hydrogen head, so it's nice and waterproof, but also it runs about 70 odd denier, so it's a good sort of substantial material itself. That kind of twinned up with kind of the quality we kind of know and love with Vango, and they definitely tend to be kind of more certainly the market leaders when it comes to driveway awnings. So they've I think done a really nice little option of this. Something small, compact, fairly simple to put up as well. We've done our own Attwoolls pitching and packing video on the Cove Hold, showing you how to pitch it. I think it took me on my own about 11-12 minutes, so it's quite simplistic, and certainly from a pole point it's a bit more price pointed, so it's a bit more attractive from that point of view. You're not sort of having to, you know, necessarily spend up to the air bracket if you don't want to, but for those people who don't really want air, it's a nice little offering as well. We've got this kind of nice sort of trimmed guide points, so it's matching with kind of the skirting around the actual awning itself. Easy adjustable points here as well, so we can get some extra tension as we need. We've got essentially fiberglass poles, which are basically around about 12.7mm. Got a kind of a flexed angle, so like a pre-angled part on it to increase the internal headroom of the product as well. What it also is got a nice short sleeve along the top. Now that makes it easier for feeding the poles directly through. As soon as you get something a bit lower, it can be a bit of a pain to kind of get up and then also round. We've got obviously like a canopy built onto it, so that's pre-fixed. Gives you that little bit of sheltered area away from the weather and the rain. You can almost sit out here on a nice evening, have that little bit of shelter off the sun as well, which works really quite nicely. And if you can always go to the length of putting like a windbreak around the front of it if you really want to as well. In the front we've got a nice centralised door. And actually one thing that's quite nice about this as well is you've got a built-in fly mesh to it as well. So that's what you don't really see, certainly for the price point you're paying for this particular model. I think that's quite a nice feature. You've got kind of that bug barrier and airflow into the actual awning without having to worry about, you know, the critters coming in as well. Big PVC windows either side of the door as well. We've got privacy curtains along with that. And there's a big nice PVC window on the side of the awning as well, with a low level ventilation point down here to help airflow inside and kind of keep it neat and tidy. You've got adjustable webbing straps along the bottom, so you can get extra tension as you see fit and get that ground sheet looking really nice and taut. And again, there's a big air vent at the back as well to help with that circulation of air. Now, in terms of kind of the way it fits, so it'll fit basically any sort of vehicle which has got a fixation point from 180 to 210. So it's a really quite nice, perfect kind of VW kind of transit kind of style. Different sort of methods you can go. So you've got a pre-fixed 6mm beading directly onto that, so you can feed that almost directly into a C rail if you really wanted to. Failing that, personally, I'd personally go for a fixing kit just because it gives you much more flexibility of driving away with a lot of ease. If you haven't got any sort of rail system on it, of course, well, if you've got a wind out, sorry, you can change that from a fixing kit to a 6mm to 4mm, and that'll fit into a wind out awning as well. Failing that, we basically got some straps which come included with the actual model that you can just literally fling those over the top of the van, peg it down the other side. That's going to kind of pull that tunnel section close to the van itself. In many ways, what you can also do as well is kind of wrap those around the roof bars, or failing that, it's got little Velcro tabs, so you can actually Velcro around any roof bars you've got on your van. And finally, we've got basically a sleeve built into the top section, which you can feed kind of a pole into, and I'll then clamp into a gutter rail or a reamer rail. So again, lots of flexibility in the way you're sort of looking to pitch it or attach it to the van. Other things to mention as well is that you've got 2 tunnel doors into the tunnel section, so it means that you can actually access the van from the front or also the back without having to go through the van or through the awning every single time. So it gives you that flexibility. You can really kind of pick and choose how you want it to be. In fact, let's look inside the Cove and talk for a few more features and little additions they've implemented. So now we kind of swung the angle around a little bit more, you can probably get a bit more of an idea for sort of underneath the canopy. And you can see that kind of big mesh front door we've got. So it's a really great size, makes it much easier to get in and out of the actual awning as well. And more importantly, it zips all the way around, not along the top around, but along the bottom. So you get a really proper bug-free barrier. Saying that, you've got your normal sort of door, which you obviously zip up to and close it completely. This can nice and neatly kind of roll back, toggle back in place so you can leave it open. And you've got one on not only on the top, but also down low as well, but we'll leave it kind of at that point for necessarily. Interior height is really quite nice. You know, I'm about 6'2", can stand up pretty much near enough in the corner, a little bit further away to be honest, but it's a great sort of internal space, and it's one of those areas you can use for storage, or you can actually sleep people inside of here if you really wanted to. So there's a 2-berth bedroom you can buy, sort of takes up about half the room here, which all makes the flow of kind of the awning coming in and out towards the van that side, so that works quite nicely. And there's little kind of clips located here where you can quite happily obviously pop that up, put that down during the daytime if you really wanted to. Other things to mention, like I said, we've got this big vent at the back here for our airflow, and then all the curtains we've got located behind the windows here as well. So you've got obviously great visibility through the PVC windows, but then curtains to get where you want to. The 2 front ones kind of come in a little bit, whereas the one on the side will just kind of toggle up halfway or go up fully up to the top if you really wanted to. You also have the ability of kind of Vango's TVS system, so it stands the tension band. So there's a bit additional kind of webbing straps which are kind of located just in the corner here. And what you can do is it helps to create almost like a triangle kind of foot fixation point with the little clip at the top here. So the idea behind it is you get sort of triangle sort of fixed point there. If the wind's coming from one side, bracing in, pushing it, that kind of strengthens the point and gives the kind of awning a bit more rigidity and retains its shape. So it's one of those things that probably you wouldn't really use that often, but it's a nice feature to have. And certainly if you're leaving the van kind of driving away and leaving this freestanding, just a small little thing like that can quite make a difference. And certainly when you find that, you know, it's something that Vango have always used in their high-end backpacking tents, and it's just a feature they put into their tents because it works. I think it's a great little addition, again, unique to Vango itself. The tunnel section kind of almost opens out in many ways. So your fixing sort of point is obviously like 180 to 210 tall, but it's about 2.5 meters wide. The joys of this is that actually when you open the sliding door, it opens back all the way and it's inside the tunnel, so you haven't got to worry about that as well. The drop down door into, in fact, let's bring the camera in, it's probably the best way of doing it. So you've got a drop down door into kind of the main kind of tunnel section as well. So it kind of lips up or lips down, so you can create a trip-free hazard kind of in and out the van as you see fit. And you've got a sort of separate door when you can physically come to drive away, you can just nice and neatly zip that up and across and keep it all nice and tidy. Down the bottom here you can probably just see your clips in the corners, so that is for the additional bedroom. And then as we kind of look at it from the van point of view, you've got sort of crystal clear windows looking out, also the main door and a window located that side. The tunnel section, we've got, like I said, doors in both the front and back sides of things, and you've got webbing adjustment straps up here, so you can get it looking nice and taut and get utilize that door properly, really. And it's again the same with kind of the back section as well. And then kind of as we open up the part, I can go back all the way, and we've got our little vehicle now, but a bit of a mess. You also, it's kind of got extra toggle points located on top here. So when you drive away, you can physically, that tunnel section kind of toggles back, you zip the door back, and you're good to go. The low level ventilation point, obviously you can see there as well, it's going to help with the airflow. And there's even things like hanging point for a lantern is located behind this point here. So you can quite happily hang a lantern there as and when you see fit. As we kind of come out of the actual awning, you see how nicely it fits next to the van there and how that sort of tunnel door works. A canopy is a great sort of depth, you know, like I said, even for a table and chairs in open there in the night time, be quite nice to sort of sit out there and have a drink. But as we kind of spin round, the joys of these kind of vehicle ones is they face the same way as a van does, means that you're utilising the same amount of space away from the van, but you're facing the view rather than facing directly onto the neighbour. So that's where it's quite crucial. It means you actually tend to get a better internal space as well. And we've got the back section, we've got a big nice vent right at the back there. Like I said, that rear kind of door on the side. You've got a sewn-in ground sheet in the model as well, which is pretty much very important because it gives you the ultimate amount of flexibility. It feels, when it's enclosed, it's completely enclosed. So, all in all, I think, to be fair, it's nice to see the Cove, or the Noosa, previous Noosa, back in the range in a way. I think there's a gap that, for those who want necessarily something small, compact and reliable, but not necessarily air, I think it's a great little offering. You know, it's got all the functionalities that the Cove, which is certainly one of the 21's bestseller, but at a better price point, because obviously there's a little bit less workmanship in putting a pole than the actual air itself. But you get a slightly smaller pack size and still get the same sort of longevity in the warranty you would with Vango. So as standard with Vango, you get a 2-year warranty, and you get a 3rd year free once you've registered it through Vango after you've purchased it. So that's always worth bearing in mind as well. But if you want any more information on the Cove itself, by all means check the link below this video. It'll take you straight through to our website where we've got all the information there. Also all the features itemised for you as well. Our packing and pitching video that we've also got is located there, as well as other little handy things to bear in mind as well. But for more information, by all means contact us directly. We'd love to hear from you in sort of the little comments box below this video as well. But in essence, that's our little video review on the brand new Vango Cove II poled awning.